Well, welcome to the first Lynn Haven Pastors video blog. This is Doug Pennington. I'm Nick Gibson, if you don't know. And we are broadcasting our first one from the new, improved, completed coffee corner here at Lynn Haven Methodist Church.
And in fact, I have a cup of cappuccino available here at the coffee corner.
Yeah, so, and also the reason we're going to do this pastor video blog is there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes, even very major decisions that we make at the church through different committees and groups and staff configurations that you don't get to hear about very much. And so this is an opportunity for you to hear right from us, right from Doug particularly, the logic behind some of our decisions, that we've even made certain decisions, so you can get a sense of, that there's a sense of transparency in what we're doing at a church that, you know, a lot of you give your hard-earned money to help support, and
Sure.
that we spend a lot of our time leading. So, a personal thing first. Some people know that you are about to have your first grandchild, and what's the status?
And as of, let's see, today's Tuesday and it's almost 2 o'clock. As of this moment, Lily Catherine has still not been born, so we're expecting her any minute now, and we'll let you know.
Sweet, sweet. Now, one of the things we also like to do is talk not about just decisions or bad news, but good news. One of the great things that's been happening in our church over the years, but that's just happened this last weekend, is the Women's Weekend. Hope for the Heart.
Sure. After this is, I understand, Sandy reminds me that this is our 14th year that we've done this, and I think every year somehow it's better than the year before, and this year has been no exception. Over 500 women served, hundreds of people involved in volunteer ministry that is so productive, touched so many lives, and in fact over 90 different churches participated. So friends, those of you that participate in this, you have an impact on the Christian community. In fact, way beyond this county, in other counties and other states, and in fact one of our participants this year from Mexico.
From Mexico, yeah. Yeah, and one of the things that Joanna and some of the other people who were heavily involved in signing people up for Hope with Heart told us that we turned away a few hundred women
Right.
who would have wanted
Sure.
to come,
Sure.
but couldn't.
Right. If we had the space, we could have had at least a couple hundred more women this year. Yes.
Okay, is some issues that have come up that are decisions we've made recently. One of them is a service time change.
Sure. Those of you that go back a few years remember that our services used to be 8 o'clock, 9:30, and 11. A couple of years ago or so, we made the change to crunch things up a little closer to 9:20 and then 11:45. And some people like that better because they had less time to kill in between Sunday school and church. But we've had a number of complications that have come out of that and requests to change it back. And here's why. One, from the perspective of the children's ministries, we have folks getting out of, well, first of all, you have to know this, that the 9:20 service doesn't always get over right at 10:20, you know? Maybe a minute or two, or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 are over. So not only do we occasionally run over, but there also is, as soon as the service is over, people want to visit with their friends for a few minutes before they then head out to go pick up their children. Well, by the time they get there to pick up their kids, the new people arriving for the next service are already here trying to drop off kids. So it's really created a bottleneck and difficulty back in the children's ministry areas. Secondly, there is the issue of our musicians. Well, this is really not, I didn't mean to say second as if they're in different
But the whole
priority
issue,
order.
Production,
Yeah.
sound, music.
That's right. We've got the change that needs to make on stage for musicians and sets and stuff between 8 and 9 o'clock, the 8 and 9:30 service. So this allows for more time for that, which is really important for them. And then the third thing is the issue of parking, because after the 9:20 service, which is so packed and all of our upfront parking places are used, people are out there cruising, waiting for folks to leave so they can get a parking place. And often people who are visitors may not know that. They may take a couple turns around the parking lot, see there's no parking, and leave and not give us a chance. So this should address all three of those issues. So the intent, and by the way, for years we have always kept our Easter Sunday services at 8 o'clock, 9:30, and 11 o'clock for all those reasons. This year, both the staff and the executive leadership team and now the church council has agreed that we're going to change it for Easter Sunday, and then it's going to stay that way, 8 o'clock, 9:30, and 11 until further notice.
Yeah, and if you know people that come to the 10:45 service at 11, just don't tell them. that we're making the change.
That's right. They'll get here on time.
Don't say anything.
That's right.
It'd be great. It'd be great. One of the last things, people heard some things about a year ago about the possibility of us getting temporary buildings or portable buildings of some kind, and then not much more was heard about that. But now something has been done
Yes.
about that. Why don't you say a little bit about our opportunity there?
Sure. I think our earliest discussion about portables goes back a couple of years because their intent was to help with some of the space needs that we have right now until we get the next phase of building built. It turned out that the buildings that we looked at then are much more expensive than we thought, plus the fact that there's a very detailed requirement and long drawn out process to get the permits from the city for that. So what's happened now is we have a building available, a good sized building that'll have a couple of different large Sunday school spaces or large rooms available in it, and we'd like to act on that. The executive leadership team and then the trustees and now the church council has agreed, and we're going to be moving forward to purchase this portable building. Our hope is that that'll do two things. On Sunday morning, we have zero Sunday school space in the 9:20 hour. And this will allow 2 large classes to start up.
You said at the church council meeting, approximately 2 classes the size of the choir room.
Yes. These are 24 by 30 rooms. It'll hold 30 people,
Yeah.
even 40 people crunched up.
Yeah.
So these are large spaces. So our intent is to get adults out in them, and that also helps our continuing problem of more and more children. And this is not only on Sunday morning, but now on Wednesday night.
We blame
Jennifer
Rollins and Leah Irby.
That's right. The great work that they have done with Iwana Ministries on Wednesday night has brought in loads of children, it's taken up more of our spaces, and therefore we need this space on Wednesday night for adults as
And
well.
in fact, Wednesday night, space-wise, as crowded as 9:20 on Sunday morning. There
Yes,
is
believe it or
literally
not.
no space. We have youth small groups meeting in the choir room robe closet room, and 2 of them in the choir room. We have
Meeting in
people the
hallways.
In
Yes.
fact, we discussed at this Wednesday meeting we had whether or not we needed to put a youth girls small group in the lounge space in the women's restroom.
In the restroom. And we really hate to, that's just how
That's where we
desperate
are.
we're getting for space.
Yeah.
So it's a good problem to have, but nonetheless, it's one that we want to address. So now, some of the questions have been, why do that now when we're getting ready to build a second building? Well, the Community Life Center will not be open for a year and a half to 2 years. I mean, just at best. Just the whole process of getting that done is going to take a while. And we also know that there will always be need for extra space. And so the time may come in future years when we can move these buildings somewhere else and use them for another purpose. But I suspect that we'll be able to make good use of them as class and group space for many, many years to come.
Yeah, and to clarify, them we mean 2 rooms, which will be with 1 building. It actually comes
Yes.
in 4 pieces, but it's 1 portable building when it's
Right.
all together, right?
Yes. And the cost of this, the building itself and its delivery here is about $22,000. It'll cost us a little bit more to get it set up and skirted and connected with electricity. But still, we expect, and then we want to do some remodeling on it to paint it and make it look good. But all of this should stay under $40,000. This winds up being about $27 a square foot, by the way, which
Yeah.
is
Awesome.
like a fifth of what we can build it
Yeah.
for. And then we're taking the money for this will come out of our current building fund, not the one for the Community Life Center, but our previous building fund that has some funds in it available for this. So I hope that answers your questions on the portable building and the service time change. Do feel free to call us. We can't obviously have these kinds of conversations with hundreds or thousands of people, but if there's some particular questions you've got, be assured that our church leaders, our lay leaders, our church officers, as well as the pastors, are available to chat with you anytime you have questions.
Yeah, you can call the church to submit a question. You can leave a question just written on a piece of paper on Sunday morning with one of our staff, or you can email the church through the website. Any of those things will get that to us, and we'll look at them and try to answer them on these pastor video blogs.
And many more of these will be coming, some based on questions that you might have about what's going on at the church. We want to give a special thanks to the guy you don't see here, and that is Thomas Irby, who's back there behind the camera making all this happen. And then his wife Leah, who will get it posted on the website. And if it all works, we will thank God.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks,
see ya.
friends. Good to be with you.